Hello and welcome to quick tour number 1 for Cartographica version 1.2. In this screencast I will be talking about the basic elements of the program, including some of the zoom tools, the basic windows, and that kind of thing. So just jump right into it here. What you see on screen is the map of Washington DC that I'll be using for the examples here. So obviously this first window is the map window. This is where you will see all of the spatial data that you add. On the left is the layer stack, which allows you to select layers to work with, also to change where they're at in the layer. So if you had multiple layers, you can decide which one's on top. And then down below is the data viewer, which allows you to look at the tabular data that corresponds to your map. Which is really nice. So we can get rid of that. Okay, so starting at the top, we have the color picker here. We can choose different colors to view our data with, to change the background color. Pretty much anything that can take on a color can be used. This color picker can be used to edit it. So if we want to change the background color, you just click a color, and drag it over, and that will change the background color or whatever it is that you're trying to change. It's very useful. Next, then we have the fonts button, which brings up this font window here, which allows you to change the fonts, the text type, the typeface rather, the size of anything that is text based. So for example, if we have labeled a point, we can bold and make it a little bigger so you can see a little better on the map any label that we've added to a point. The print option, that's fairly self-explanatory. You can just print right away. Right here, the map tools, we have the zoom in tool, so we can zoom in on an object if we need to by clicking and dragging, or also just clicking. We can also use the slider bar over here on the right and I'm just clicking and holding it and moving it up and down. So moving it all the way up, we'll zoom all the way to the full extent of the layer, and then bring it all the way down, we'll zoom in really closely. Okay. The next tool is the identify tool, which allows us to click and select any object on our map. So if I bring the data viewer back up, you can see as I select objects, different things are highlighted down in the data window here. So clicking, there we go, really nice. The pan tool allows us to I'm just clicking and holding here, and we can just pull our map in any way we want to go. So we zoom in a little bit, click on the pan tool, now we can really explore our data. Go back out to the full extent here. The last tool is our measure tool, which allows us to measure from one point to another. We can also measure areas. So we would take a diagonal, and it would give us the square area for. So if you can imagine a square connecting those two end points of that line, that would be the square area that we're talking about here. So area 9.133 miles squared. And also a nice thing about the measure tool is that you can quickly change the metric that you're measuring in. That goes for both distance and area. So right now we have it in miles. We could change it to meters if we wanted to, and we could do whatever it is that we want to do. It works nicely. Also up at the top, we can see we have a number of menus. We have the Cartographica menu. Good one to keep track of is the check for updates. If you don't have your program set to automatically check, you can click on this, and it'll look for the newest updates of the program. And you want to make sure that you keep doing that, because there's a lot of new releases that come out, which is really nice because there's a lot of new features often. File, you can see we have all of our import and acquire data. We have our exports, saving data, print, new maps. If we wanted to have a new map on top of this with a standalone independent project, we could do that. Just click new map. New map layout will bring up the ability to create a map and then to print out. So nice, where we add compasses and that kind of thing. Edit, all the basic edit features, copy, cut, selecting features and that kind of thing. Map, this is a good one to look at now because it has some of the tools we've already talked about. The zoom in tool, identify, pan, measure, all those tools are also right here, in addition to being on the main toolbar at the top of the Cartographica window. The show scale option is pretty cool. Allows you to see a little scale at the bottom indicating an area on the map, and tells you what spatial scale you're looking at the current moment on screen, which is pretty cool. You can just click hide scale, that'll hide it. The layer, a lot of these tools we'll talk about more later on in other screencasts. So for now I will ignore those, but just know that this layer menu is here. The view menu is another good one to talk about now because we've already mentioned some of these. So the zoom in and out. So I've shown you the zoom tool on the top of the Cartographic window, and I've shown you the zoom bar on the far right. And now you see there's also these zoom options here in the view window, or view menu rather. So the zoom to layer is nice, so we can zoom in and it'll go to the full extent of the layer we're currently looking at. Zoom to fit, same kind of thing, but a little bit different. So just know that these tools are also here. And previous extent's really nice. So if you're working at two specific scales, say you have a cluster of points you're looking at and then another cluster somewhere else, you can jump between the two by using the previous extent, which is really nice. It helps your workflow out. Here are the basic tools and analysis tools, which I will cover in much more detail later on, but just know that this menu's here. The window menu is also really nice. It has some of the basic elements like show layer info, so we can look at all of the different fields in our data. We can add new fields if we want here. Look at some of the info, type of geometry, number of objects, number of points, that kind of thing. Which is really handy. And also we have the show measurements, so that's another way to bring up that window. Show image viewer, which we don't have any images included right now, but if we did, we could view them there. Show legend, which is just going to show you the layers that we have essentially added to the map. So you can see we have the block group layer there. And then let's see, the show color palettes is really nice. So this allows us to edit color schemes of basically color gradients of any kind of data that we want to show on screen. I'll show you this in a lot more detail in future screencasts. And also the help menu, it can be nice. So this is a place where you can look for release notes, which is nice. So you can, if you've downloaded the newest version, you can see what new features we've added, what we've fixed, what we've made a little better, what we've tweaked. Also, there's Cartographica help, so if you're having a specific problem, you can type in maybe an issue there and try to find some way to resolve it. And then we also have the report bugs and sending logs and that kind of thing. If you're having any kind of problems, we're very good at taking care of those. So those are the basic elements of Cartographica version 1.2. Thanks for listening to this first screencast, and stick around for more specific screencasts on more analysis-based topics. Thanks for listening.